Howdy, Night Stalkers! You're tuned in to Lantern's Edge, Night Watch. 2 dogs, 1 lantern, and a whole lot of weird between the stars and the soil.
I'm Louis. If something's glowing on the horizon where it shouldn't be, I'm the one staring a little too long.
And I'm Bo, your skeptical folklore guide. Cryptids, curses, ghost ships. If it's strange, we're sniffing around it.
Tonight, we're leaving the swamps behind and climbing into the mountains. North Carolina, to be exact. A place where the night doesn't just get dark, it lights up.
Mysterious orbs floating over the trees, dancing along the ridgeline. No roads, no headlights, no good explanation everyone can agree on.
This is the story of the Brown Mountain Lights. You're standing on an overlook off the Blue Ridge Parkway. It's late, past the time tourists go home. The air is cool and thin, pine-scented. The valley below a dark bowl filled with shadows. The ranger told you, if you're going to see him, you'll see him from here. So you wait. 10 minutes. 20. The stars sharpen, a million pinpricks overhead. Then, in the distance, above the black line of Brown Mountain, a light. Small at first, like someone lit a lantern and held it high. Yellow-white, floating just above the ridge. You blink. Another appears beside it. Then another, lower, drifting slowly like it's searching the treetops. They move in ways headlights can't. No roads there, no houses. The lights rise, merge, split, fade, reappear closer to the river. For a moment, one hovers alone. You swear it's looking right back at you. Then, it shoots upward and vanishes. The valley is dark again, and you realize nobody told you what they are, just that they've been here longer than you, longer than the highway, longer than the ranger station.
Long enough to be legend. All right, let's plant our paws in the facts first. Brown Mountain is in western North Carolina, near Morganton. For over a century, some say even longer, people have reported strange lights hovering or drifting over the ridge at night. They're described as glowing spheres or orbs, colors from white to yellow to reddish, appearing above the tree line or near the river, moving in odd ways, bobbing, rising, splitting, fading in and out.
We're not talking just once in 1903. These things have been investigated by government agencies, scientists, and a whole lot of curious locals. Railroad workers, hunters, hikers, and tourists all claim to have seen them.
The U.S. Geological Survey even looked into them more than once in the early 20th century, trying to figure out if they were reflections, trains, or something in the air. The official line is, let's say, inconclusive with a side of probably natural.
But the stories spread. Early on, locals said they were ghost lights, spirits of Native American warriors, or a grieving woman searching the mountains with a lantern for her lost lover, or the lamps of long-gone hunters who never came back.
You'll notice a pattern. When humans don't know what a light is doing in the dark, we give it a job. Scout, warrior, lost soul, omen.
Or all of the above, depending on who you ask.
Let's walk back before the science vans showed up with instruments. In the old mountain lore, one popular story says the lights are ghostly warriors. 2 native tribes battled on Brown Mountain, and the lights are the spirits still searching the battlefield.
Another version says they're the lantern of a woman whose husband never returned from hunting. Every night, she walks the ridge in spirit form, still looking, her lantern rising and falling as she goes.
You hear echoes of that motif all over the world. Ghost lights over marshes, will-o'-the-wisps in Europe, mysterious min-min lights in Australia. They lead travelers astray or warn them away from danger, depending on the story.
And Brown Mountain Lights fit right into that global pattern. They're unpredictable. They hang around wild places. They show up just long enough to make you doubt your own eyes.
And in a place where the night sky is still actually dark, not blasted out by city glare, weird lights get noticed. They become part of how locals explain the land.
Those aren't just random flickers. That's the mountain talking.
I like that. Gives the rock some personality. Time to run through the usual suspects. Explanation 1. Atmospheric phenomena. Fancy talk for the air's doing weird things. Some scientists have suggested the lights might be ionized gas from decaying vegetation, piezoelectric effects from quartz-bearing rock under stress, temperature inversions bending light from distant sources.
Yeah, there are quartz deposits in those mountains. When rock is stressed, it can produce tiny charges. Some researchers think that might cause faint glows or flashes in certain conditions, sort of like the mountain itself sparking.
Explanation 2. Headlights and train lights. There are roads and tracks in the region. Under certain weather conditions, light can reflect off fog layers or bounce weirdly off the valley shape. The Geological Survey leaned on this pretty hard in their reports.
Thing is, some sightings go back to before there were cars and modern trains in the area. Folks were talking about strange lights on Brown Mountain in the 19th century, and possibly earlier, when the brightest thing around after dark was a lantern or lightning.
Which doesn't kill the natural explanation, but it does make the just headlights answer feel a little thin. Explanation 3. Ball lightning or similar rare phenomena. Strange, short-lived blobs of luminous plasma that can hover and move unpredictably. Not well understood, but definitely documented in other places.
You stand on that overlook and see a glowing orb hang in midair silently for 30 seconds. Ball lightning or ghost lantern, it's going to leave a mark on your memory.
Explanation 4. Because this is Lantern's Edge. Spirits or something else we don't have good language for yet.
Could be that what folks are seeing really is other. Not random, not accidental. Lights tied to events or energies we don't understand. Maybe they show up where a lot of emotion and history spilled into the ground.
Or maybe mountains just like messing with us. So why do the Brown Mountain lights loom so large in the imagination, when technically they're just lights? No claws, no teeth, no cryptid mugshot.
Because they do something a lot of our favorite legends do. They show up at the edge of our understanding. They don't perform on command. They make us feel watched in a place where we thought we were the ones watching.
They also invite you to participate. You can drive out there, bring your own eyes, and see if the mountain chooses to show off. Plenty of people come away with nothing. Some come away with a story they'll tell for the rest of their lives.
And unlike some legends that strain local communities, Brown Mountain lights are mostly a kind of gentle weird. They're spooky, but not cruel. More cosmic mystery than slash and dash.
They also connect past and present. You're standing with your smartphone pressed to the sky, trying to capture something your great-great-grandparents might have stared at with their lanterns dimmed.
Same mountain, same dark, same question. What is that?
All right, Louie, lantern test time. 2 questions. What do you think the Brown Mountain lights really are? Why does this legend deserve a spot around the campfire? You're up first.
I think the Brown Mountain lights are probably some complicated mix of geology, atmosphere, and human perception. Rare conditions, specific angles, maybe a little ball lightning thrown in. But I also think they're a reminder that even in a world full of satellites and sensors, there are still places that won't give up all their secrets. Around the campfire, they belong, because they're proof you don't need a monster to feel like the night is alive. Just a light drifting where no light should be.
Nice! I'll take a crack at it. I'd put my money, if I had to, on a natural phenomenon we haven't fully pinned down. Headlights explain some, sure, but not the oldest stories. Rock stress and weird air do the rest of the heavy lifting for me. But as legend, they're perfect. They're an invitation. Come see if you can catch the mountain doing something strange. No guarantee, just possibility. And that's catnip, or dog treats for a show like ours.
All right, listeners, your turn under the lantern. If you stood on that overlook and saw a glowing orb rise over the ridge, would you call it science, spirits, or something in between? Drop your Brown Mountain theories, and if you've ever seen mystery lights anywhere in the world, we want those stories too.
If tonight's trip into the Blue Ridge pulled you a little closer to the edge of the unknown, make sure you follow Lantern's Edge, Night Watch, leave a rating, and share this episode with a friend who loves a good late-night drive.
Next time, we're leaving the mountains and heading out to sea. A real ship, a real crew, cargo intact, no sign of struggle, and not a single soul left on board.
The Mary Celeste, one of the strangest ghost ship mysteries ever recorded.
Until then, stay curious, stay in the light.